Hello everyone, I'm really glad you're here. If you're a man over 60, or if you live with someone who is, you've probably noticed that sexual health at this stage in life just isn't as simple as it used to be. And you know what? That's completely normal. But there's something I believe you may not have heard before. For years, most people have assumed that changes in intimacy at this age are just due to lower testosterone, or simply a natural part of aging. But the real reason might actually be something else entirely. I'm Dr. Elaine Foster. After more than 30 years of working closely with older men to help them improve their sexual function in a natural and safe way, I've found that there's one small factor, often overlooked, that can make a huge difference. It's just a vitamin. Sounds simple, I know, but the impact it has is anything but small. When taken the right way, it can help boost circulation, increase testosterone production, improve energy levels, and bring back a kind of confidence many men thought they'd lost forever. And the best part? You don't need a prescription. You don't need expensive procedures. This is a natural solution, backed by science, and you can start trying it today. Why does sexual health decline after 60? Over the years working in my clinic, I've met countless men in their 60s and beyond. Many of them come in carrying a quiet worry, and most ask me the same question. Doctor, what's happening to me? They're not talking about a specific illness. They're talking about something more subtle, but very real, happening in their sex life. Things just don't respond the way they used to. There's less strength, less sensitivity, sometimes no reaction at all, and most of them assume, well, I guess that's just part of getting old. But here's the truth. Based on clinical data and the latest research, age is only a small part of the picture. The rest of the story lies somewhere most people don't think to look: your blood vessels. As we age, the tiny blood vessels, especially the ones responsible for sending blood to the genitals, begin to lose their elasticity. The vessel walls may experience microinflammation, cholesterol buildup, or oxidative stress damage. These issues don't cause pain, and they don't show any obvious symptoms, but they silently reduce the amount of blood reaching where it's needed. And when blood flow isn't enough, the physical response weakens. This is a well-documented medical phenomenon. Research in the Journal of Urology and reports from the Mayo Clinic show that vascular health, not just testosterone, plays a critical role in erectile function as men age. On top of that, poor circulation leads to lower production of nitric oxide, a molecule that helps relax blood vessels and increase blood flow right when you need it most. That's why some men may still feel desire, but not get the same response they once did. A little-known vitamin that plays a big role in men's sexual health. The first time I stumbled upon a study about a certain vitamin, one mostly known for being in prenatal supplements, and its surprising effect on male sexual health. I'll admit, I was skeptical, but the more I looked into it, the clearer it became. This wasn't some fringe theory or untested idea. It was backed by solid science, published in respected medical journals. The vitamin I'm talking about is folic acid, also known as vitamin B9. Most men have no idea how important it is. It's rarely mentioned in products aimed at improving male performance, and in routine health checkups. Very few doctors ever test B9 levels in the blood. But folic acid plays a direct role in some of the body's most essential functions, from producing healthy blood cells to repairing DNA. And most importantly for this topic, supporting the health of your blood vessels. One study published in the Andrology Journal found a clear link between low folic acid levels and erectile dysfunction. That's because B9 helps your body produce nitric oxide, a crucial molecule that relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow to the sexual organs. I've worked with many men in their 60s and 70s who still had the desire, but their bodies just weren't cooperating. When we took a closer look at their nutritional status and adjusted their B9 levels, either through diet or supplements, under proper guidance, the changes were noticeable. Not some kind of overnight miracle, but real, internal improvement, better energy, better circulation, and most importantly, they started to feel in control again. In their bodies, in their relationships, in ways they thought were gone for good. Folic acid and its vital role in healthy blood flow. There's one simple, but absolutely crucial, thing I often tell my patients. If your blood isn't circulating properly, your body can't respond sexually the way it should. It doesn't matter how high your testosterone levels are. It doesn't matter if the desire is still there. If blood isn't reaching where it needs to go, the body just won't react the way you hope it will. That's not a matter of willpower or emotions, it's simple biology. Folic acid, or vitamin B9, plays a direct role in circulation through a little-known factor called homocysteine. This is an amino acid that naturally exists in the blood. But when homocysteine levels get too high, often due to low B9, it starts silently damaging your blood vessels. Specifically, the vessel walls lose flexibility, become inflamed more easily, and are more likely to develop plaque buildup. That means blood slows down, especially in the small, sensitive capillaries around the male reproductive area. Studies, including a report published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, have shown a clear link between elevated homocysteine and a higher risk of erectile dysfunction. This is the kind of vascular damage you can't see, but it directly impacts your physical response. In my clinical experience, I've seen many patients with low B9 and high homocysteine levels, and nearly all of them were struggling with performance issues. But once we corrected their folic acid levels, the changes were clear: better blood flow, stronger responses, and, just as important, a steady return of confidence. The improvement doesn't happen overnight, but when the body gets the right support, many men begin to rediscover something they thought was gone: the ability to connect, both physically and emotionally, in a way that feels natural and fulfilling again. Folic acid and the role it plays in boosting nitric oxide, the key to a healthy sexual response. Among all the biological factors that affect a man's ability to achieve and maintain an erection, nitric oxide, NO, is one of the most important molecules of all. Not testosterone, not other sex hormones, but nitric oxide, a simple gas that triggers the process of blood vessel dilation, allowing blood to flow naturally into the genital tissues when the body is aroused. To put it plainly, without nitric oxide, there simply isn't enough blood flow to create an erection. And this isn't just a theory. Studies published by Harvard Health, Cleveland Clinic, and other trusted medical sources have all confirmed that nitric oxide is the key signal that starts the entire chain of sexual response. Here's the part most people don't know. Folic acid, vitamin B9, helps your body produce nitric oxide by activating an enzyme called eNOS, endothelial nitric oxide synthase, the very enzyme that generates NO in the lining of your blood vessels. When your folic acid levels are too low, eNOS activity drops. That means your body produces less NO, and that leads to weaker blood vessel relaxation. Especially in the areas that matter most for sexual function. Drugs like sildenafil, the main ingredient in Viagra, or tadalafil, Cialis, don't create nitric oxide. They simply enhance the effects of the NO your body already makes. If your body isn't producing enough NO to begin with, even those medications might not work the way you hope. In my clinical experience, I've seen men who, after taking B9 supplements with proper medical guidance, reported a big difference. Their bodies started responding more naturally. They felt more in control, not dependent on a pill, and not worried about timing. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about giving your body what it needs to do its job, safely, naturally, and in harmony with your own biological rhythm. Testosterone, energy, and fertility, how they're all closely tied to folic acid. When men come to see me about changes in their sex life, sooner or later most of them ask the same question: is my testosterone dropping? And yes, testosterone is important. It affects your sex drive, your strength, and your sense of control. But hormones are just one piece of the puzzle. Behind the scenes, there's a whole support system, and folic acid plays a surprisingly essential role in that system. I once had a 64-year-old patient tell me, "I'm not just losing interest, I feel constantly tired, foggy, and like I'm not really myself anymore. I don't even feel like a man." That kind of experience usually isn't just about low testosterone. It's often a sign of deeper, systemic fatigue, and vitamin B9 can help kickstart the body's natural recovery process. Here's how. B9 supports red blood cell production, helping oxygen reach your brain, muscles, and reproductive organs. It helps synthesize neurotransmitters, which affect mood, motivation, and desire. In the testicles, folic acid helps protect cells from oxidative stress, a major factor that disrupts testosterone production. When B9 is replenished properly, many of my patients report something powerful. They feel more clear-headed, more driven, and slowly but surely, like they're coming back to themselves. From the inside out. Taking folic acid the right way, safe and effective. Once men understand the importance of folic acid, the question I hear most often is, so, where do I start? That's a great question, because the benefits only come when you do it the right way. And it's not as simple as grabbing the first vitamin bottle off the shelf. Here's what you need to know. Folic acid needs to be absorbed properly in order to work. Some people eat healthy but still don't absorb enough. Foods rich in folic acid include leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens, beans, lentils, and avocados, fortified grains and cereals. But from what I've seen in clinical practice, most older men don't get enough B9 from food alone. And there are a few reasons why. As we age, the digestive system doesn't absorb nutrients as well. Certain medications, like those for acid reflux or blood pressure, can interfere with absorption. That's why, in many cases, especially for men over 60 who feel tired, have poor circulation, or notice a decline in sexual function, I often recommend a high-quality folic acid supplement. The standard recommended daily dose is around 400 mcg. In medical settings, slightly higher doses are still considered safe, especially when the goal is to support heart health and sexual function. One important note: folic acid works best when combined with vitamin B12, which helps balance nerve and blood function, vitamin C, which improves absorption and adds antioxidant support. And I always remind my patients, this isn't a quick fix. The results come with consistency. But when your body starts getting the right support, something powerful happens. It begins to heal, to restore itself, in ways many men thought were no longer possible. The bonus benefits: heart, brain, and longevity. I often tell my patients, anything that's good for your heart is almost always good for your sexual health, too. And folic acid is a perfect example of that. We've talked about how vitamin B9 supports blood flow and helps regulate hormones related to sexual function. But what surprises many of my patients is this: the benefits of folic acid go far beyond the bedroom. It also plays a powerful role in protecting some of the body's most vital systems, especially the heart and brain. For cardiovascular health, folic acid works in 3 key ways. It lowers levels of homocysteine, a known risk factor for damaging blood vessels. It reduces inflammation inside the arteries, helping keep the circulatory system flexible. It helps prevent plaque buildup, which lowers the risk of heart attacks and strokes. For men over 60, these aren't just nice-to-have bonus effects. They can make a real, lasting difference in long-term health and quality of life. At the same time, research has shown that folic acid supports cognitive function and brain health. Some of the most notable benefits include improved focus and mental clarity, better short-term memory, slower age-related cognitive decline. Many of my patients, after a period of proper supplementation, have told me, "Doc, it's not just my love life that's better. My mind feels sharper, clearer." And that feeling isn't just in their heads. It's the natural result of supporting your nervous system the right way, starting with one simple, often overlooked nutrient. When it comes to aging, one of the most overlooked aspects of healthy aging is how our bodies age at the cellular level. When your cells are properly supported, the aging process doesn't just slow down, it becomes healthier and more balanced. Folic acid plays a key role in this process as a natural antioxidant. It helps protect your cells from damage caused by oxidative stress, one of the main drivers behind functional decline as we get older. Science has shown that oxidative stress affects nearly every part of the body, from the skin and muscles to blood vessels and the immune system. When your body doesn't have enough nutrients to neutralize free radicals, aging tends to speed up, bringing with it fatigue, chronic inflammation, and a weaker immune response. But when folic acid levels are kept in a healthy range, older adults often notice real, tangible improvements. More consistent daily energy, healthier skin, less dryness, better hydration, a more stable and responsive immune system, and most importantly, a deeper sense of vitality, not just not being sick, but actually feeling sharper, stronger, and more alive every single day. Nutrients that support full male function recovery. When folic acid is combined with the right supporting nutrients, the benefits go far beyond mild improvement. It can lead to real, noticeable transformation. There are 2 key minerals I often recommend alongside vitamin B9. 1. Zinc. Supports testosterone production. Essential for reproductive health. Boosts the immune system and aids in tissue repair. 2. Magnesium. Helps relax blood vessels and supports healthy blood pressure. Stabilizes the nervous system and muscles. Enhances the absorption and effectiveness of B vitamins, including folic acid. When these 3 nutrients, folic acid, zinc, and magnesium, work together, many of my patients report not just improved performance, but a deeper sense of renewed energy and vitality, a restored sense of control over their body, and most importantly, a natural confidence that comes from within. At a certain point, many men start to notice their bodies react more slowly. Managing weight gets harder, energy fades faster throughout the day, and perhaps most quietly, a growing sense of lost intimacy. I've met hundreds of men in this exact situation, each with their own story, their own struggles, but with one common thread: that sinking feeling when your body no longer feels like your own. Here's what I've learned after years working in men's health. Sexual health isn't just physical. It's deeply tied to your sense of identity, confidence, and connection, not just with a partner, but with yourself. Turning 60 or 70 doesn't mean the end. It's just a different chapter, one where intimacy can still thrive. In fact, it can grow deeper, more meaningful, if we rebuild it from the inside out. So when we talk about folic acid, testosterone, or blood flow, we're not just talking about biology. We're talking about something more profound. Reclaiming control, rebuilding connection, living fully, in a way that feels true to who you are now. At some point, we all come to realize that our health, both physical and emotional, is something we can't keep putting off. If today you're noticing changes in your body, or you're not responding the way you used to, that doesn't mean it's too late. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel better, more confident, and more connected, no matter what age you're at. Sometimes, all it takes is one right step. And that step can start with something simple, like giving your body a small but essential nutrient, to help you gradually reclaim control of your health and your life. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and click like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you have a question, I'll do my best to answer it in an upcoming video. Thank you for spending your time with me today. There's still so much we can do for our health, and I'll be right here, walking alongside you on that journey.